to Power the Terrible, today we're going to Aqua Eruption featuring the new Ditto from Pokemon Go with the sudden transformation ability, allowing you to use the attack of any Pokemons in a discard pile for the same energy cost. So we're using this card to copy either our Groudon or Kyogre's attack, doing Magma Volcano for a one-hit knockout or Aqua Storm for a double bench snipe. To satisfy the attack cost, we have our Cryogonal to do Element Chain, looking at the top 6 cards of your deck and attaching any number of basic energies you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. We're also doing 1 Rapid Strike Basculin for us to use Swarm the Wound, hitting 30 base damage, plus 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Lastly, we have 1 Spiritomb to do Ghostly Cries for 1 colorless, placing 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like for each Pokemon in their discard pile. So all these attacks are accessible to our Ditto, including Element Chain, as long as it has the necessary energies. We also have 1 Radiant Greninja, 4 Door Support, and 2 Moonlight Shuriken, 1 Manaphy for the bench barrier, 1 Energy Recycler, and 2 Escape Ropes for the switch. For the setup, we have 4 Glorias, 3 Sonia, 2 Capture, 2 VIP Pass, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Skyla, and 1 Peony. Finally, for our energies, we're playing 1 Aurora, 14 basic fighting, and 17 basic water energies. So that's all for the deck list, and be sure to grab yourself some packs from our sponsor at X-Trainer90 Team to build your very own deck from any cards in format. They even sell online codes for character rares, full art, and gold cards to expand your collection. So check out the link in the description below or click on the top right corner of this video to enhance your PTCG experience. Use code BTT for 5% off any products to get yourself some lovely cards. And now for the moment of truth, let's go for some gameplays! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Palkia and Ice Rider. So they're playing Ice Rider VMAX with only 1 copy of Palkia VSTAR. We actually joined the tournament for this battle. So it's pretty nice to fight meta decks in the tournament. With rogue decks like this, I'm pretty happy to build Ditto with the new Groudon. Well, an upgrade for the old Groudon Kyogre deck. So the new Ditto helping us basically choose any attackers in the discard pile. If we have Basculin discarded, we get to use Swarm the Wound. If we discarded our Spiritomb with the Magma Volcano or even Aqua Storm, we can actually use those attacks as well. So Ghostly Cries actually helps you place damage counter in any way you like at the end of the game. So if you have, like, for example, if you did Magma Volcano and have like 10 HP remaining on their VMAX, because Magma Volcano does a max of 320 if you discarded only 4 energies at the top card of a deck. You're only discarding 5, so you may not get all 5. You may get only 4 out of 5, but most times I actually got like 3, which is 240, not even enough to kill a V-Star. So I think the best card to be using for this deck is Kyogre. If they don't play Manaphy, Kyogre is probably doing a lot more than Groudon. But if you're lucky though, Groudon can actually help you do a VMAX knockout, a V-Star knockout with, 4 or 5 discards. If you're playing against Mew VMAX or any Psychic VMAXs, you need 5 discards. If you play against 330 HP Pokemons or any VMAX with Big Charm, then you need a solid 5 discards as well. Because otherwise 320 damage is not doing enough, not even against a Psychic VMAX, a Psychic or Ghost. So if you play Ditto though, you get to get through that resistance. If you hit Magma Volcano with your Ditto, you get to hit raw damage and reduce 0. Resistance doesn't work against colorless Pokemon because you are playing a colorless Ditto to land Magma Volcano's attack, Groudon's Magma Volcano, and you get to do like 320 raw damage killing the VMAX or even the V-Star with Big Charm. So for example, if they have a Typhlosion, Hisuian Typhlosion with a Big Charm, Groudon can actually knock it out with 4 discards because they got 300 HP and you are reducing 30 with resistance, so you're only doing 290 damage with Magma Volcano. That's why we're only playing 1 copy. We have 3 Dittos in this deck. I actually started off with 2 copies of both Volcanion, both Groudon and Kyogre, just because those 2 cards are kind of essential. It is the main attackers for this deck, so I recommend playing 2 copies just because we only have 1 Heavy Ball to summon that card from the prize. If both of them get stuck, then we have no attackers in this deck, so it's better to play 2 copies, honestly. But I prefer to, gamble on the risk, just because if we add more trainer cards, we're probably going to get bigger discards, because Peony helps us draw out the trainer cards, empty the deck from the trainer and Pokemons. Peony helps us do that. With VIP Pass, we don't actually have any quick balls though, so Peony only helps us get the trainers out from the deck. If we get a Gloria or a Sonia, we get to draw out the Pokemons. So whatever we get into our hand, if we draw a supporter card on the next turn, we get to play it and reduce the deck from non-energies. And that actually helps us do a lot more with our Groudon Kyogre. So there we go, we got a Gloria. We're gonna play Ditto and Kyogre. So for this list, we actually have 2 copies of both the legendaries, both our Kyogre and Groudon, which is a bit safer, honestly. And I prefer the safety, but I also prefer, more training cards, to be honest. So I don't really know what's the best thing to do for this deck. So we only got 3 discards. I think if you don't play Energy Recycler, it's much more difficult to get 4 or 5 discards. It's, a bit of a gamble, obviously, but that's why we have so many so many trainer cards now. So Peony or Skyla actually helps you reduce your hand as well. Not that many items though. So we only have 2 escape ropes and 2 VIP pass. For this list, for this game, we actually have 3 quick ball, 1 heavy ball, 4 Gloria, 3 Sonias, I think 3 Sonia if I'm not mistaken, and then 3 escape rope. That's all we have, and we have no Basculin, we have no, we have a Greninja. So we have a Raiding Greninja, we have no Basculin, that's it. So 3 Dittos, 1 Groudon, and 1 Kyogre is a bit risky though, just because you only have 5 attackers. If they boss you, because you actually need to do Cryogonal, you need to do Element Chain to charge up your Pokemons on the bench. So if they keep bossing you every single turn, after your Element Chain, then you only have essentially 2 or 3 attackers. But that actually is still okay if you get to play your Basculin, or even your Ghostly Cry Spiritomb, because you can actually do like 2 V knockouts with 1 Kyogre, and then possibly a knockout in the active, a V knockout with a Groudon, right? With a Magma Volcano. So all you need really is 1 Ditto and 1 Kyogre, or even 2 Dittos. If they kill your Groudon and Kyogre early, then all you need is 2 Dittos. If they don't bench that many V cards though, if they actually control their bench or evolve faster into like multiple VMAXs and V-Stars on the bench, then we can't actually collect that much prize that early, that fast. So we may need 3 in any combination of Ditto, Kyogre, Groudon. But we actually have an extra additional attacker. We have an additional Radiant Greninja to help us do 90 damage to two of our opponent's Pokemon with Moonlight Shuriken, so that's not too bad. It can help us collect the knockout against Ice Rider right now, actually, because 90 damage plus 240 is exactly enough to kill the VMAX. 10 extra damage. And we even get to kill the Drizzile on the bench, and possibly Aqua Storm for a Crobat knockout. So that Crobat is actually helping us a lot. They don't play Manaphy. No Manaphy means Kyogre is going to help us a lot for this game. So we got 3 Dittos in play and 2 fully charged. Well, all we need is to attach 1 energy from the hand, right? So 1 fighting and 1 water is the best deal. We actually get, we got 3 Pokemons ready to go on the next turn to attack. All we need to do is attach 1 energy from our hand and choose whether a fighting or a water for our Ditto, because if we play a fighting energy from our hand, we get to do Magma Volcano. If we play a water energy, we get to do Aqua Storm. So it's actually a very cool, versatile card. You get to play either attacks, depending on what energies you have in your hand, depending on what you choose to attach from your deck with Element Chain. And they actually played an Escape Rope, so we're just gonna offer up something else that doesn't have any energies attached. I think Raiding Greninja is gonna help us a lot in terms of draw support, because sometimes if you discarded a lot of energies on your last turn, or if you attach a lot with your Element Chain, chances are you're gonna have like the top few cards of a deck as supporters, and if you discard supporters with your Aqua Storm, you're not gonna do enough damage. So it's kind of smart, you know, it really depends on luck honestly, but it's smarter to do your concealed cards. It's smarter to draw with Greninja once you have a lot of energies attached on your last turn, or if you got a lot of energies discarded from the top deck on your last turn. I always go for that, but you never really know though. You really never know. Sometimes the deck just arranges in a silly way, like a lot of energies twice in a row and then nothing but supporters after. Then Greninja is going to screw you over because it's going to draw you out 2 energies, and then you're going to have to discard nothing but supporters after that. So you never really know, honestly. We're just going to play our Kyogre right now. Hopefully kill off the Crobat. We got a Raihan in this deck as well, look at that. So this is a very weird list. No Peony. I prefer Peony, honestly. Quick Ball only gets you 1 basic, so if you don't get any supporter to start, if you get nothing but a Quick Ball, then you only get to bench 1 basic, which is not enough, honestly. Because you either need 1 Kyogre and 1 Groudon, or at least even 1 Kyogre and a Cryogonal if you get a Ditto as your first active, right? If you get something that you don't need as your first active, like a Spiritomb, Basculin, or even a Raiding Greninja that you can't use to attack early, that you don't need to start the game, you need to start the game with a Cryogonal, Groudon, Kyogre, obviously, because if you don't bench your Groudon and Kyogre, there's no way Ditto can attack. Ditto has to attack after those 2 cards. So first things first is to VIP for those 2 legendaries. Wait for them to get knocked out by playing those attacks if you can. If you can't, if they get bossed, then that's okay, we have our Ditto. If you can, it's even better, you actually get to, you know, collect extra prizes with those cards. So we almost attach our water energy to Greninja, preparing for the next turn. We actually cannot do that. We can't afford to attach extra energies just because we only get, you know, we need 3 energies to do the attack, and we need a lot of energies for all of our Pokemons. We have no luxury to attach to, you know, to another Pokemon. We just don't have the luxury for that. So I think we only got 3 discards. We're just gonna strike the Crobat because they can't scoop up the Crobat, and it's actually the same price as the Palkia, so there's no point hitting the Palkia because they're probably gonna use the Star Portal on next turn anyways. Let's just hit the Crobat. Oh, we actually chose the Drizzile. Interesting. Because they could actually search more. They could search for more trainer cards with those Inteleons. So we couldn't kill the Inteleon, but we could deny them from playing Shady Dealings on the next turn. So now we just need 2 more prizes. How are we going to do that? We got Groudon with 1 Ditto, and then maybe Aqua Storm if they retreat. So no Basculin for this deck, but we do have Ghostly Cries though. We do have our Spiritomb. If we don't get enough discards with either Kyogre or Groudon. So Raihan actually didn't do much for this game, just because for certain games though he actually did a lot. So I played quite a few times, about 10 plus games with this original list. The one with nothing but Gloria, Sonia, Quick Ball, and Escape Rope, 1 Raihan, and 1 Heavy Ball. No Basculin, 2 solid copies of both Groudon and Kyogre, and 3 Dittos, and the same of other Pokemons, except we don't have a Basculin. So this list actually stuck quite a while I was playing this deck, because it actually works really well. They actually helped us though. They're helping us a lot because we are shuffling back a lot of energies back into the deck. That means we have a higher chance of discarding nothing but energies on the next turn with our attack. So Roxanne is actually giving us you know, big boost, a huge power boost in terms of discarding more energies from the deck. kind of like an energy recycler, a Marnie, or even a Caitlyn, right? So I would love to add Caitlyn in this deck just because sometimes I draw nothing but energies with my Greninja. Sometimes I draw nothing but energies from the prize card as well. And Caitlyn is going to help you a lot in terms of putting those energies back into your deck. And then maybe if you play item card, you get to shuffle, but we don't have any item shufflers though. So if you play a VIP for your final list, you don't actually have any way of shuffling your deck. That means those energies are going to stay at the bottom throughout the entire game, and there's no way to put those back. So it's better to play Shauna or maybe Bruno. Bruno, you actually have to draw 7 though if they knock you out. So Shauna or maybe Judge. I think Judge is the best because you only draw 4 cards and you want to keep as many inside the deck as possible, as many energies. You may draw nothing but energy with your Judge, which is going to be bad. But at least you're only drawing 4 energies, I suppose, as opposed to 7 with your Bruno or even 5 with your Marnie, Shauna. I don't think you would draw 5 energies with Shauna though. Okay, we actually hit Aqua Storm for a Greninja knockout, and the Crobat is gonna die on the next turn. We got a lot of options here. We can either do Aqua Storm on the next turn because they got no Menifee. We check their list. So when you're playing a tournament in the Limitless TCG, you actually get to see, it's an open list game. That means both players get to see each other's deck. They know what the other player is playing before the game starts. But, you know, before the tournament begins, you actually have to submit your deck list. And I think you guys are probably familiar with the Limitless TCG format, but for those who aren't familiar, I'm just trying to explain that, you know, it's an open deck list format. That means everyone knows what everyone else is playing, but only once the tournament starts. Before the tournament starts, nobody knows what the other player is going to do, what the other player is going to have in their deck, but once the tournament begins, then everyone knows what they have in their deck, exactly what cards they are playing. So we have a Menifee for this deck, but they don't. They actually don't have any Menifee at all. So we can actually do Aqua Storm to collect the knockout, but we actually chose to do Ghostly Cries, placing 3 damage counter on the Crobat, 5 actually, for the final knockout, drawing our final prize with a V kill, which is pretty cool. Ghostly Cries. You only got that one shot though, so you better be careful. It's always better to use it at the last second, because once you shuffle those cards back, if your opponent don't discard Pokemon from their hand as well, it's not gonna do a lot, right? Because you're gonna have to wait for enough knockouts. You're gonna have to wait for enough Pokemons collected in their discard pile for you to do enough damage counters for the knockout. If you don't kill enough Pokemons, they won't have enough Pokemons in the discard pile. And not a lot of decks these days play Research. Even if they play Research, I don't think they would discard their Pokemons. Like a lot of their Pokemons, probably a few. If they play Met Party and Wormadam though, it's gonna help you a lot. Like that's why we have a Ghostly Cries. That's why we have a Spiritomb in this deck. It is a Wormadam Met Party repellent. And Wormadam is a big thing now, especially when especially with Slowbro Pokemon Go out in Standard. So Slowbro, Zoroark, Wormadam is a big thing. And if they play that, we got our Ghostly Cries to force them to keep on discarding from their hand, discarding from the deck, which is not that easy to do, even with a Bibarel. So if they play Bibarel and Meowth on their bench, if they have 2 Meowth, they can actually do a knockout quite easily, because we are only having 70 HP on our Ditto, only 130 for Kyogre Groudon. 70 HP is very low. That means they only need to transform into a fighting Wormadam. If they transform into a Sandy Cloak Wormadam and then discard 1 Pokemon from their hand, all they need is 1 discard, they can actually kill the Ditto, because Ditto is weak towards fighting type. But we actually get to, you know, place damage counters though. If they have a lot of basics on the bench not yet evolved, we actually get to, if they discarded like 10 Pokemon, we at least get to do maybe 2 knockouts, and we get to play that attack every single turn though, because they are discarding every time they use that attack. If they discard way too many, we get to use Ghostly Cries over and over for 1 energy with Dittos, and then you know, knock out all of their Pokemon one at a time. All of their Zorua first, obviously. So target is Zorua and then target something else, because Zorua is probably the most dangerous card you have to watch out for. It gets to evolve and transform on the next turn. So are we gonna get a Basculin or another Cryogonal? Are we gonna get a Manaphy? I think let's just stick to 2 Dittos. I don't think they have a bench snipe card. So they're not playing any Urshifus, they're not playing anything but Fusion Strike, right? Fusion Strike has no bench snipe strategy. So we got 5 energies, which is great. We're gonna attach 2 water to Kyogre, 2 fighting to Groudon, and 1 of the extra 1 to Ditto. So it's always, you know, the golden rule for this deck is to attach 2 to Kyogre and Groudon each time, you know, you get enough energies to attack. But we actually did the Ditto for this game. Surprisingly, we did the Ditto. I don't know why we did that though. I think it was a mistake. We did it intentionally, but I believe it's a big mistake because they could do a boss quite easily with Mew. We should be attaching the 3rd energy to something else, but it doesn't really make a difference though. We should be attaching the 3rd energy to the Ditto, because Ditto can actually do Element Chain, you know, once the Cryogonal gets knocked out. But if they do a boss, we don't need to do Element Chain, right? So probably attach the water to Groudon, and then, well, it's better to attach the Ditto though. Attach 1 fighting and 1 water to the Groudon and 1 water to the Ditto. I think I would do that right now when I'm thinking about the game. Once, you know, post-game, I actually prefer to do that in terms of saving the energies on our Pokemon, because if they do a boss right now, or even a Pokemon catcher, cross-switcher, they can kill the Ditto, and we got 3 energies down from the deck and in play. Now we actually have to do our Element Chain a second time after doing Aqua Storm for the first strike. Aqua Storm can actually collect 2 V knockouts though. That means we're drawing 4 prize with 1 Kyogre if we are lucky enough to get 2 discards. Sorry, 4 discards, my bad. So there we go, they killed the Ditto, because it has the most energies attached, and it can't do anything. If they kill, once Kyogre and Groudon is dead, it can't do any of those attacks, even the Spiritomb and Barraskewda's attack. My bad, Basculin's attack. I'm saying all the wrong names here. Basculin, Spiritomb, Groudon, and Kyogre. I think I called Groudon something else earlier as well. Sorry about that. Let's draw out anything. Just draw out the Pokemon. Even if you don't need it, just draw them out, because that actually helps you discard more energies. Okay, we're gonna bench the Basculin. If they do an Avery, we can still do Ditto to Swarm the Wound. So that's the good thing about this deck, is that Avery doesn't actually affect us that much. It reduces the number of attackers we have, obviously, because it's better always to have more attackers in play, but it actually helps us, it still allows us to do attacks with Ditto. Ditto can still use anything that is discarded from play except for Greninja. Greninja actually is a rule box Pokemon. That means Ditto cannot copy Moonlight Shuriken. That's the only thing Ditto cannot copy for this deck, because everything else is a basic. Everything else is non-rule box basic. That means it's copyable. Okay, we actually killed the Mew, knowing that they can draw anything with 2 Genesects. They probably have another in their hand already, or even like a Heavy Ball, Clara Rescue, not Rescue Carrier, Ordinary Rod. Okay, they did Max Miracle, and they have 11 cards left in the deck. We actually are baiting them to draw out as much as they can, so that they actually deck themselves out. We have 2 prize remaining. So all we need really is either a Ditto to do Aqua Storm. I think Aqua Storm is going to help us more. So if we can get enough water energy from the top 6 cards of the deck, we should be able to win this quite easily. I'm not sure whether we should be drawing with Greninja, but we actually got like 4 energies with our Aqua Storm on the last turn, so I think we should be drawing. It makes sense to draw after a lot of discards, right? So we're just gonna attach one to Groudon and then hope for a lot of water. So we actually got a lot of fightings though, which is bad. Oh well. So this is the final list, the final upgrade, which I actually prefer, honestly. Slightly more than the original version. I still like the original one, though. The original build has 2 copies of Groudon and Kyogre, and I quite like that just because of the certainty that you are having those cards inside the deck. If they end up in your prize, you got that 1 heavy ball to get it out, but it's not that likely to get both Groudon or even both Kyogre inside the deck, let alone both let alone all 4 of your Groudon and Kyogre. It's impossible, right? Especially in standard. So they actually bossed our Ditto. Now we are down to nothing but Groudon to attack this turn. And then on the next, we actually have to do another Element Chain. So I think right now the best bet is to Element Chain again. If we get enough water energy, we can actually do Greninja. I don't know what's the best thing to do, honestly. Let's just do Magma Volcano and then Element Chain on the next turn. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? We're gonna Element Chain on the next turn to do, if we get enough water energies, we're probably gonna, we're probably gonna attach water by now because we actually attach a lot of fighting. If we get enough water energy, we can attach to both 2 to Greninja and another 2 to our Ditto, helping us do either Aqua Storm or Moonlight Shuriken to kill the Mew VMAX on the bench. So if they do Psychic Leap, they can't kill the Groudon. They have to do Max Miracle. That means they cannot recover the damage from Mew. And all we need to do is Moonlight Shuriken for the win. After doing Magma Volcano on the active right now. Oh, we actually did Element Chain though. We did Element Chain first, which is a big surprise. Because we are wasting the energy, I suppose. If we retreat, we are wasting the energy. So let's just attach the 2 fighting to Ditto. Let's attach 1 fighting and 1 water to both, right? It's always better to spread energies on both so that you at least get to choose which one to attack with, right? Whichever attack to use with your Ditto and which Pokemon to attack if you have the right energies in your hand. So they did a boss on the Ditto as expected because they should be watching out for Aqua Storm, which is the most dangerous, the most dangerous attack, I suppose, because we only need 4 discards to kill 1 Genesect, and that's it. We got no Ghostly Cries, no access to the attack anymore, because I think we discarded our Spiritomb. So now we can only rely on Groudon and Radiant Greninja. We got 4 energies attached on the last turn, so we're probably going to get a lot of supporter cards right now. I don't think we have any more Pokemons in the deck. So let's just not play the Sonia because it's going to mess our deck up. It's going to shuffle the deck. I don't really want to do that. So let's just Magma Volcano. Let's see what happens. If they have like 20 HP remaining, we can do Moonlight Shuriken on the next turn to collect the knockout. But if they boss though, we actually got 5. We got 5 discards, killing the Mew VMAX with 1 hit, doing Magma Volcano. Look at that. So if they do a boss on the Greninja, and then retreat to the second Mew, to the second VMAX to knock out our Greninja with Max Miracle, I don't think we can win that easily. Because we have no boss in this deck. It's quite difficult to kill the second Mew VMAX with another Magma Volcano. Because that's the only attack we have access to. We have no other attackers except for maybe Basculin. And they got like 2 prize remaining after that. So I don't think we stand a good chance at winning if they boss the Greninja on the next turn. So maybe 4 Dittos, right? 4 Dittos, 1 Kyogre, 1 Groudon. I don't really know though. Still prefer 2 Kyogre and Groudons. It's quite rare to get both in the prize though, even if you're playing one copy of each. You would at least get one Groudon. I would say about 80, 75 or 80, 75 to 80% of the time that I play this game with this deck. 75 to 80% of the time I get both Groudon and Kyogre inside the deck if I'm playing one copy of each. And only like 15 or 20% of the time, 20 to 25%, my bad. Only 20 to 25% of the time I would get one of the Kyogre or Groudon prized, right? Very rarely. I think only one game. I only got one game where I got both prized, and we can't do anything, so we had to concede. So that's the bad thing, I suppose. If you get both Kyogre and Groudon, you can't actually do anything. We got Heavy Ball. I don't think we conceded. We got our, what's it called again? Peony to get our Heavy Ball. But I don't think we got it in time, so we conceded after all. Because we only got that one Skyla and one Peony to get our one Heavy Ball, and it could be prized as well. So you never know if you get prized all three of those cards, which is quite difficult, I would say, because it's different cards, different names. To get prized all three different names, loose cards like that, I don't think it's that easy. So we got our VIP Pass and Escape Rope, which is perfect. Now we get to do Element Chain for Energies Galore. And we're gonna bench another Ditto. Okay, we're up against a Darkrai VSTAR. So I don't think they're playing a Menifee either. This is not a tournament, so we have no idea of knowing. But they need to be discarding a lot. They need to be drawing fast. So I think Radiant Greninja and Crobat, Weezing maybe. They need a lot of support for Darkrai to attack fast, to do high damage early. That means I don't think they have the space for Menifee. It's always safe to play at least one copy though. Like, you need Menifee for any deck that you play. Even for this deck, we have one Menifee. Like, I would love so much to replace that Menifee for another Ditto, or even another supporter card, item, anything. Another energy even. But Menifee is essential. So I opted to play one Menifee just because it is that important. Mr. Rob. Okay, what are they gonna do now? No Darkrai's on the bench. Moltres is not doing an knockout. They need the Dark Patch. They couldn't do the Dark Patch in their hand. Unfortunately, they had to discard it. So I guess that happens. You need like enough Quick Balls, I suppose. Ultra Ball, Aurora Energy, I don't know. Okay, they need another Dark Patch to attack this turn. If they don't attack or do a knockout, we're just gonna play Element Chain again, because we got no cards in our hand thanks to Peony. Peony is actually quite scary because it leaves you with no hand on the next turn. That means you cannot attach any energies from your hand. You are left with nothing but the top deck, the top card from your deck. So I don't think it's that easy to recover from that. That's why I actually prefer to play Element Chain again rather than attack right now. I think it would be smarter to play a second Element Chain as opposed to attacking early, because if they kill something on the next turn, we have no way to recover, right? It's kind of the same thing though, honestly. Except we are wasting that one energy in the active to do the retreat. And if we retreat right now, we actually have to keep the Sonia. So let's just play the Element Chain, get our Pokemon cards with our Sonia, and then probably draw an energy from the top deck on the next turn. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. We're just gonna bench Cryogonal because we got 2 Dittos already and a Groudon. I don't think we would. Even if we get all 6 energies, we will be attaching 2 to each of those Pokemons, because we have 3 Pokemons with blank energies. There we go. So now we just need 1 energy on either the Groudon or Ditto to attack, and 0 energies on the Groudon to do Aqua Storm on the Kyogre, my bad. No Marnie. Marnie would help us a lot though, oh well. Why would they play a Marnie, right? Knowing we have 1 card in our hand. Marnie could actually help you screw your opponent if they play Kyogre Groudon, because they would probably draw a lot of energies into their hand. If they draw too much cards, they're gonna be left with nothing to discard in the deck. They're probably gonna mill themselves to death, or they are going to discard no energies, right? If they draw too many energies instead of supporter cards, they may not be able to do enough damage with Magma Volcano or even Aqua Storm, and you actually get to win the game. So it's always a risk. We're playing very risky cards here. We're playing energy discards for both Groudon and Kyogre, so you never really know what's gonna happen playing these legendaries. Team Magma and Team Aqua, both in the same deck. People love this deck though. People love both Kyogre and Groudon in the same deck. So I'm trying to revive this this popular deck with Ditto and extra basic cards, extra basic Pokemons for Ditto, you know, to boost our Ditto so that it gets to do damage counter placement, it gets to do extra damage for each damage counter on opponent's active Pokemon, Swarm the Wound, it gets to do Element Chain as well, it gets to do anything. And we got 5 discards. That's big. We're gonna target the Darkrai, because I think we have a Basculin for this list. So if we discard a Basculin, we can actually do Swarm the Wound with our bench Ditto, because we have 2 energies right now. We don't even need to attach from our hand, but we got the prize though. So prize is probably gonna be energies, like, or even a Sonia. Sonia is gonna get us energy. We got 3 copies of Sonia, so I don't think it's too much to worry about if we got no hand. We're probably gonna refill our hand with either from the prize or from the top deck. We got no Reading Greninja on the bench though, so we can't draw. I think it's prized. And here comes the Marnie. We got the Ditto inside the deck now. And we got all 4 energies. Oh my gosh, that's the worst feeling ever. We could possibly have done... well, we can't do it though, because the Moltres actually has more than 200 HP. So they play like a Zapdos. They don't have a Zapdos for a Darkrai deck, obviously, but if that card is a 200 HP V Pokemon, we can actually knock it out on the next turn with Aqua Storm, including the Darkrai for the last 4 prize. Anyways, enough speculation. Let's play our Groudon for another 2 prize, and then Ditto for the final knockout. I think that's better, because we drew 5 energies now. Thanks to the Marnie, we just drew 5 energies from the top deck, and we're probably gonna get nothing but supporter cards from the top deck. So if they attack with the same Moltres, they're gonna damage themselves again. So all we need is 2 discards though, I think. All we need is 2 discards to kill the Moltres, because they got 6 damage counters on it already. They're helping us a lot. So 2 discards is doing 160, which is enough. If they play the Darkrai, we got Swarm the Wound. I think we already discarded our Basculin. It's in the discard pile already. But unfortunately, they decided to attack with the 1 prize Moltres, because it can do a lot of damage late game. We're a bit sad, because I really wanted to showcase our Basculin. There was a game against Dialga where I almost won the game had I have a Basculin in my deck. That's why eventually I chose to add that Pokemon inside this list. We don't actually have an additional attacker And Spiritomb couldn't help us collect the knockout because we only have like 240 damage on the Dialga. So Dialga had a big charm attached, and we only have 5 Pokemons in our opponent's discard pile. That means Spiritomb is not going to collect a knockout against the Dialga VSTAR. We got 2 prize left though. 2 prize remaining, and the active is... We cannot KO the active because we got not enough energies in play. They did a cross switcher boss every single turn. We got early knockouts, but eventually we lost the game because we got really unlucky. We couldn't pick up the pace right after like the Dialga do time Chronos. After you do the Chronos, we are basically done for, honestly. Not always though, because if you can kill the Dialga with Aqua Storm before they attack, then they actually have to bench another one and charge it up all over again. So we actually stand a high chance against Dialga if they don't play a Menifee, or if they don't get it out at the right time. I don't think they have that many level balls. They probably are playing Quick Ball VIP Pass instead for, you know, Mew and Dialga. And we actually won that, killing a Darkrai on the bench with another Aqua Storm. So that game was actually a waste because if we had a Basculin, we actually have only 1 energy attached to both our Dittos, and we got 2 Dittos left. That means we either get to play... I think we have 2 Dittos and only 1 energy attached to 1. And we chose to do Element Chain and then got only 2 energies. That was quite sad though. We got only 2 energies and we attached both to the bench, and they actually did another boss, killing the Ditto on the bench. That means we got 1 energy left on the last Ditto. And now we cannot attack with either Aqua Storm or Magma Volcano. We got both the energies in our hand, but we cannot attack with those attacks because they need 3 energies, and we only got 2 on the Ditto on this turn. So that's why Basculin has to be in the deck, because Dialga cannot attack with anything else. They have no other attackers but Dialga. Unless if they do like a Bronzong with Zacian, you know, they can actually retreat, switch, and then transfer those energies and attack with Brave Blade, something like that. So you never really know what's gonna happen. Spiritomb is doing a lot, but not enough, honestly, because 5 damage counters. We had 5 Pokemons in their discard pile, but they had a big charm. So that one big charm completely destroys our strategy. And oh my god, that was such a waste though. I thought I had that. We almost got the win because we got the Groudon against against the active. So the Dialga actually has what do you call that? It has only 4 energies attached. They couldn't do the time Chronos, but they had to do the knockout fast. So that they actually chose to attack in the active already, and we got to do our Aqua Storm on the last turn onto the Dialga. So we have 150 damage on the Dialga already. That means we only need 2 discards. We just need 2 energies at the top 5 cards of the deck with our Magma Volcano to kill the Dialga in the active, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't get 2 energies. That's how unlucky we got. We got really unlucky because we couldn't get our supporter cards. That's why Peony is so important. That's why I actually changed the list. I decided to change the list. No more Gloria, no more, no more Quick Balls. We changed it into VIP Pass and Peony Skyla, because those cards actually help us draw out our trainer cards, and we even have an extra recycler. So Peony for recycler, escape rope, Peony for VIP Pass on your first turn, Peony for Gloria, even any of your trainer cards, get them out so that you actually get to discard more energies with your attacks, and that helps you do a lot more damage for the knockout. That way you have no chance of discarding only 2 or even less energies from the top 5 cards of your deck. Discarding only 1 is frustrating though, because we got so many energies. We only discarded 1. Can you believe that? It does against that Dialga broken deck. I mean, it's so frustrating. Dialga always wins. I don't know why. It's like a default. It's like, just because you're a meta deck, they just give you the best luck every fucking game. It's so frustrating. I don't know why. They always get the best luck. Or for some reason, somehow, you just get the worst arrangement in your deck whenever you're playing against a meta deck. I don't know how that works. I don't know how the system works, but it just works that way. I'm not being pessimistic or negative here. I'm not being like a raging psycho. I'm just being realistic. Like, meta decks always get the best luck. I don't know why. We have to own our mistakes though. So eventually we decided to upgrade the deck with those power supporters, helping us draw out, get those trainer cards out of the way, so that we get to discard more with our Magma Volcano / Aqua Storm. And we even have an extra Basculin for the knockout hit. So Ditto gets to use 4 attacks. 4 attacks to damage our opponent's Pokemon. And 1 extra attack, Element Chain, to attach energies. It can actually use the extra attack Surf, Icy Snow, and what's it called? Mountain something. Mountain Bond or something? Mountain Bind. Groudon can do 120 damage for 4 energies. So don't underestimate those attacks. Sometimes it's better to use those 4 energy attacks against 1 prize. If they play nothing but 1 prize decks, it's better not to discard your top deck that many times, because you're going to deck yourself out. If you discard too many, especially if you're not playing a Kyogre, if you're not doing Aqua Storm, if they have a Manaphy on the bench, it's better to do the 4 energy attack, because you're going to end up discarding too many energies, too many resources from your deck, too many cards, just for that 1 prize knockout. Doing Magma Volcano, can you believe that? So I think it's better to play, if they play a Lunatone for example, it's better to do Greninja, Moonlight Shuriken first, and then Aqua Storm, Aqua Storm, Aqua Storm. But they may have a Manaphy on the bench, which is gonna completely deny you from hitting the bench. So you never really know what to do, honestly. We got only 3 discards. We got a Raihan for this list. So this is the earlier list. 2 Groudon, 2 Kyogre, 1 Raihan, and 3 Quick Balls. Lucky Ice Pop for a single strike. Interesting. They actually are playing Umbreon as well. So Umbreon, Dark Signal, they get to pull out any of our Pokemons on the bench. Only 120 damage though. They only did 120 with the beatdown. So we actually get to attack after they hit us, which is grand. So that means all we need to do is Magma Volcano again if they kill the Groudon this turn. They actually are charging up the Crobat. So they actually are prepared for the Ditto, because Ditto has only 70 HP and Crobat can kill the Ditto. Crobat has the ability, has the potential to knock out, has the strength, not the ability, the strength to knock out our Ditto with 1 hit. We're gonna capture. I don't think we have anything left to capture though. Maybe a Spiritomb. There we go. We got nothing left to capture. It's better to attach a type if you have no Pokemons left inside your deck, because that way you get to prepare for either Aqua Storm or Groudon. We got a Heavy Ball. Okay, we got 1 prize remaining. But we got no energies in the field. They got an Umbreon ready to go on the next turn. All they need is to bench another Houndour, evolve it on the next turn, and then hit us. They actually got like 2 knockouts though, I think, with the Crobat. We need to play Cryogonal and then retreat to recover from the poison. I don't think they have Zigzagoons in his deck, so I think the Cryogonal can actually survive the Poisonous Fang. All we need to do is retreat though, right? So I'm not sure whether to draw with Greninja or just to keep our hand, because we have only 8 cards left in the deck and we got no recycler, so this is actually very risky. You know, we have no way to shuffle back those Pokemon, those energies in our hand. We have no way to put them back into the deck. We have no way to shuffle back energies from the discard pile. So this is actually very risky. It's a very dangerous spot in the game where we have to be very careful how many energies we are attaching with Element Chain, how many energies we are keeping inside the deck, how many cards we are drawing with Greninja. We have to be super careful what we are doing right now because we have 8 cards left. I think it's better to attach 3. I think we actually have to attach 3. I don't think we have a choice. Or maybe 2 is enough, I don't know. They don't have a Houndoom though. If they play a boss, I don't know what to do, honestly. They can actually do a boss and kill the Ditto with Crobat. So that could be an extra option. If that happens, I have no idea what we should be playing. Oh, they got Umbreon. Oh my gosh, they got Umbreon VMAX to kill the Ditto. So we should have attached the second energy. I don't know what we were thinking. Let's see what happens. Are they gonna get a VMAX though? We had no choice. We really have no choice but to attach. They got a Menifee, right? They got a Menifee, so I don't think we could do anything. We need a Groudon. We need Magma Volcano, so that means we cannot hit the bench. We cannot kill the Umbreon if they do a boss, if they do a Dark Signal, and they actually didn't evolve though. Not evolving the Umbreon means all we need to do is knock out anything. Right now, they're probably going to put a Crobat because it has the highest HP. Ditto is not a fighting type, so we can't hit for twice the damage. So that means we're only doing 160, which is not enough if we got 2 discards, but we actually got 4 discards from the top 5 cards of the deck. Exactly 5 because we have 5 cards remaining. And we got the knockout, drawing the final prize because they didn't get their VMAX. So that was a pretty close game. Because if they got the Dark Signal, we would be screwed. If they got the Dark Signal, they can actually kill our, what's it called? Ditto with the Crobat. And we would be left with nothing. If that happens though, I think the best route is to play Element Chain again. Because they may not have that many bosses in their deck. So playing the Dark Signal means, you know, they can't actually do it again on the next turn unless if they bench another Umbreon at the same time. And then play another Dark Signal on, you know, directly on the next turn right after. Then we would be screwed. They're gonna get 2 Ditto knockouts twice in a row. And then we would be left with no attackers. Let's bench the Groudon Kyogre, play the Sonia and Quick Ball. So we played a lot of games with the Quick Ball format. The list, you know, the solid Quick Ball list. Which is kind of, you know, kind of interesting in a way because you get to discard Pokemons from your hand. If you play Sonia and Quick Ball, for example, you get to draw your Basculin from the deck or even Spiritomb or Groudon and then discard it with your Quick Ball so that you get to play your Element Chain onto Ditto instead of Groudon, onto Ditto instead of Basculin, onto Ditto instead of Spiritomb. And that way you get to use any attack you want with your Ditto depending on what they do on their next turn. So it's a very versatile card. Ditto gets to use anything. And attaching energy to Ditto, doing a discard with your Quick Ball from your hand during your turn is actually giving you, you know, a lot more control in a way. But we only have 3 Quick Balls in this deck though. for the earlier build. 3 quick ball is not enough to warrant a hand discard, especially if we only have 3 Sonia as well. Only 3 Sonia to draw those Pokemon into our hand. Gloria actually has only allows you to bench those cards, so that means if we got a Gloria and a quick ball, we can't do the discard. Okay, we did a Sonia, but we were expecting an Avery. But I kind of know that they don't have an Avery in their deck, but they don't have a Marnie either though. No Avery, no Marnie for a Centiskorch deck. So we attached a fighting on basically everything, because we want to be doing Aqua Storm. I don't think they have a Manaphy for Centiskorch. If they have one, it's going to be quite difficult to draw it out. I think they have level balls for Diancie though, so level ball could actually work for the Manaphy as well. So if they get their Manaphy, we are totally screwed, because it is a 1 prize, and we are helping them discard our deck with Magma Volcano and Aqua Storm. So we have to be very careful here what Pokemon we choose to knock out, even if we get to play Aqua Storm. I think we discarded a Kyogre. If we have a Kyogre in the discard pile, we get to do Aqua Storm right now. Okay, we don't have it. I don't think we had the foresight, because we probably have a Kyogre inside the deck. Oh, we don't have it. It's actually in the prize. Okay. So let's attach water to both the Ditto and Kyogre. We're gonna do the fighting on the Ditto as well, apparently. We should be preparing the Groudon to retreat though, because they can quite easily do a boss. Escape rope. Escape rope is not gonna do anything though, it's actually gonna help us. But I don't think they have boss in their deck, because they need so many Irida, rare candies, they need so many energies. They're playing so many Pokemons in their deck, they don't have the space for a boss, they don't have the space for Marnie, they need to play Cynthia, Bruno, they need to play power supporters like Irida, or even Peony maybe, I don't know. Kindler, I think Kindler would work quite well. Kindler with Magma Basin for Centiskorch and what's it called? Radiant Charizard, Charizard Go. Pokemon Go Charizard. We finally get to do our Aqua Storm, and they got no Manaphy, so they're done. And we get to do it turn after turn, not worrying whether they're gonna do a knockout. We only got 50 damage, can you believe that? It's pretty sad, we got only 50 damage, so we're gonna do Ghostly Cries to collect the knockout. We're just gonna play Aqua Storm to kill something else, and then Ghostly Cries to kill the Sizzlypede, because they're probably gonna keep it on the bench unevolved until the very last minute. So we're gonna hit something else first on the next turn, and then Ghostly Cries. We got a Spiritomb in our hand. All we need to do is place that 1 or 2 damage counter onto the Centiskorch after doing the first few knockouts. So you have to wait a few turns. You have to wait till the end of the game basically to play your Spiritomb. But sometimes if you are up against a 1 prize, you can actually do it much earlier. We're gonna discard the Spiritomb. We shouldn't be drawing anything though. We should be keeping everything inside the deck. But you never know if it's gonna help you attack, do faster knockouts with your Aqua Storm. You never know what's gonna happen. I don't know why I'm attaching so many energies to the Ditto. We should be investing everything on the Kyogre. Nothing but the Kyogre, because they can't do a knockout, right? So we don't have the foresight to prepare only the Kyogre, because they are not knocking us out. They are not doing any damage. They can attack with Centiskorch though, doing 130 damage. They can actually knock out the Kyogre with the burn. what's it called again? I forgot the attack, but it actually does 110 damage plus the burn condition, which is exactly enough to kill our Kyogre. But if they do that though, they're gonna have to face our Groudon on the next turn. So maybe charge up only the Ditto and the Kyogre, not the Groudon. Because Ditto can now play Surf, and Surf is enough to kill the Scorch. And they already evolved it. So they knew we have a Spiritomb. We should have kept the Spiritomb until last second. We discarded it too early. So now they know and they just evolve. It doesn't really matter though, because we're probably going to get 2 discards at least with Aqua Storm. And they didn't get the Blastoise. All we need to do is kill the Scorch. If they retreat to the Scorch, we got Surf to knock it out. So they don't really have a... It's better to do that though. It's always better to just 100 full flames whenever you can. If you know you're going to get knocked out on the bench on next turn, might as well just get an extra discard, right? Extra 3 discard. So we just need 2 energy discards to kill the Scorch. And we got it. Now they got nothing on their bench but Diancies. Nothing in play but Diancie. They are stuck. Complete reset. And now we just need to do just need to surf twice for the win. We don't even need Aqua Storm anymore. If they play a Menifee at this point, Surf is gonna help us win the game. Just need 2 turns. And we actually have 2 turns because they need to do Rare Candy and pass the turn on the next after the Vitality Spring. So this turn they're gonna have to bench the Sizzlipede and the Squirtle all over again. And then benching those actually wastes them and 1 turn, buy us an extra turn for us to collect the second last prize. And then for the last prize, they actually have to pass the turn doing Vitality Spring and giving us that final turn to collect our final prize. So that means is already the end. The game is already ended. There's no way they can recover from that. Unless if they do like a Radiant Charizard. You never know if they have that card in their deck. Radiant Charizard for Scorch. Go Blastoise, go Charizard deck. They have a Radiant Greninja though. I think they already played that. So Radiant Greninja helps them draw. I think they need that to boost their milling strategy. If you want to focus on mill, then it's better to play Radiant Greninja. If you want to focus on versatility, it's better to play Radiant Charizard. Because you are playing fire, so many fire energies in your deck. And if you play Rod, you get to recycle their attacker. So it gives you the extra dimension of either choosing to mill your opponent or attack constantly with your Charizard, that 1 copy. You can play Heavy Ball, Rod to keep on recycling that Pokemon. Right, you can even play Vitality Spring and then Radiant Charizard to attack early in the game because your opponent probably has like very few prize cards drawn. So you need like 5 energies to attack early in the game. You can play Charizard though. I don't think you need what's it called? I don't think you need the Blastoise. You just need to play Magma Basin Charizard and then Radiant Charizard. So Blastoise is not doing much again. It's not really doing much for your Radiant Pokemon. Lunatone Solrock, another 1 prize. Let's see how well this deck does against a Lunatone. So Lunatone, the most annoying 1 prize deck ever because they are doing so much damage every single turn. Early to start as well, which is very annoying because it's way too broken. It's way too consistent and easy. They don't need to do anything really. They just need to discard their energies, bench as many Soul Rock. If you play Avery and Collapse Stadium over and over, they got Rescue Carriers, they got Rods, they got Claras. So there's no way to counter a Lunatone deck. except with Empoleon. Empoleon is probably the best counter because Empoleon and Weezing shuts down all their abilities, right? Empoleon shuts down all non-rule box Pokemon's ability. That means Solrock doesn't get to use Sun Energy, Solrock doesn't get to charge up their Lunatone, and they don't get to attack at all. No energies means no attack, and they're completely screwed after that. And you even get to hit the bench against Manaphy with your Empoleon. If you play Scroll of the Scroll of Swirls, you get to hit 30 damage on all of their Pokemon with your Matchless Maelstrom, even with Manaphy on your bench, because that Manaphy has no ability. Being a basic non-rule box Pokemon, Empoleon actually shuts down its ability. So Empoleon doesn't work against Radiant Greninja, Empoleon doesn't work against Radiant Basics or V Basics, but it does work against a lot of power one price basics like Snorlax, Regidrago, Regigigas even. Even Regigigas cannot use its ability, which is big, is very big. So Empoleon actually completely destroys all the one price meta right now, right? One price meta Regigigas, one price meta Solrock, Lunatone. I don't know what else there is. Cherim is not a basic though. It only works against basic, unfortunately. So if they are playing one price stage 1 with abilities, they still get to use those ability, unfortunately. Yeah. But Lunatone is a big thing right now. Lunatone is a very big thing. So maybe Mimikyu VMAX would work really well. Because 26 damage counters is basically 3 knockouts if you play a Zigzagoon. So they just need 2 strikes though. They need 2 strikes to kill a VMAX, which is the equivalent of you doing 2 what's it called again? 2 ominous numbers, 2 occult number. My bad. 2 occult numbers for 3 prize with a Zigzagoon is the same as 2 hit for a VMAX knockout. So both players are drawing 3 prize in 2 turns, which is kind of the same thing. And it comes down to which player goes first, I suppose. Another alternative to kill Lunatone is if you play Double Gunner. Rapid Strike Inteleon VMAX can do Double Gunner for extra damage counters on your opponent's bench. They cannot get past damage counters, they cannot get past Dragapult VMAX as well. So Dragapult VMAX, Rapid Strike Inteleon can kill Lunatone. Those are the only options we have, I suppose. Damage counters, that's the best. Radiant Blastoise with Rapid Strike Inteleon is going to work really well against one price decks, especially if they're playing full-on level ball cards like Alcremie even. Right now we're up against Alcremie with Amazing Rare. So Alcremie from Brilliant Stars can do a lot of damage, but it has very low HP. That means you get to strike it with Double Gunner and your Radiant Blastoise for up to 6 damage counter or even more if you have your Scoop Up Net and extra energies in your hand. Probably play a training card to retrieve those energies to do extra discards every single turn. So up to possibly even 8 damage counters in a single turn with your abilities, discarding energies from your hand. So obviously, Path to the Peak shuts down your Inteleon's ability. Make sure you play a lot of training cards to not only remove Path to the Peak, to allow you to play your Double Gunner, but also to retrieve your energies to play it more times. Okay, our saving grace here is obviously Aqua Storm. If we can kill as many bench basics, well, as many bench 1 prizes as we can, turn after turn with Aqua Storm, we can win quite easily. They actually got no Bibarel, so we should be killing them right now. We should be taking the opportunity to knock out the Bibarel before they evolve. So that's the perfect moment to do Aqua Storm. No Manaphy, no Bibarel. We have to do it right now. We're gonna kill both the Alcremie and the Bidoof. And now they're down to a total reset. Unless if they get an Air Balloon and a Cafe Master, I suppose. If they get a Cafe Master, they still need... I think they need to do a Raihan right now. They cannot attack though. Cafe Master is not allowing them to attack unless if they get a Twin Energy. And I don't think they have enough cards in their hand to play that. So Radiant Venusaur is probably the best card to be playing with your Alcremie deck, because it helps you draw solid 4 cards at the end of your turn every single turn. And then you get to play your Cafe Master after that on the next turn. But it's better to do a proper draw support like Bibarel or Chinchino, because that helps you, it gives you a higher certainty to draw out your Cafe Master, because it is a supporter card. It is much more difficult to draw a supporter card from the top deck, especially if you're only drawing 4 with Venusaur. I don't think it's that easy. Maybe Altaria from Evolving Skies and Oranguru, Primate Wisdom to get your Cafe Master. Okay, we drew again. Now we are forced to play Surf because they got a Manaphy at last. A bit sad now that they got a Manaphy. We are forcing them to delay though, slowing them down for a little bit. We got 3 prize, so we shouldn't be too worried. Temple of Sinnoh is not doing anything. Amazing Sword only does 150 if your opponent is not playing any VMAXs in their deck. VMAX is kind of the same as your Regigigas. It does 300 base damage against VMAXs. For like 3 different energies. For your Regigigas is like 5 colorless, which is pretty interesting because you get to play like 2 twin and 1 double turbo. Sorry, 2 twin and 1 powerful, or even 1 twin, 1 double turbo, 1 powerful. So Choice Belt with Zacian, I suppose, helps you collect a VMAX knockout. It doesn't kill a V-Star, but I suppose Alcremie can kill a V-Star much easier than your Zacian. So you need Choice Belt for Zacian to kill a VMAX. Otherwise it's not doing enough. Are we going to charge up the Groudon, or are we going to charge up... I think we have no choice really. We honestly have no choice but to charge up the Groudon. We got a Raihan in our hand, but we never know if our opponent is going to play another Roxanne or like a Marnie even, so you never really know what to do. There's no guarantee either ways. We need another Fighting Energy if we want to attack on the next turn, or possibly do Element Chain to prepare extra attackers for the kill, because now we need to kill 2 more active Pokemons to win the game, which is a bit more difficult than it seems. If they play Amazing Kyogre, it's going to be terrible because we got no Manaphy on the bench. But if they hit once, we can actually search for Manaphy right now. I don't think we have it inside the deck. If we have it in the prize, we're going to have to search for Heavy Ball with Raihan. If we have it inside the deck, we can search for it directly. If it's discarded, there's no way we can recover it. There's no way it gets to be revived because we have no Rod, no Clara, no Rescue Carrier. There's no way Manaphy gets to, protect our bench. Rainbow Flavor. Such a nice name, right? Such a lovely name. I love the attack. It's such an original card. It's so original because it has the Cafe ability. I forgot what the ability is called, honestly. But it has a supporting trainer card that helps you, that matches with its ability. So, Additional Order. That's the ability's name. Additional Order. And a new ability, a new attack. A name that is unlike any other. Aqua Storm, I think it kind of sounds familiar, but I don't think any other Pokemon has that attack. I don't think it's the same as anything. Surf, I think a lot of Pokemons have that attack already, so they are kind of copying attacks. They're copying the name and pasting it onto a new card. Icy Snow, probably. Element Chain, I don't think any Pokemon has that attack as well. Element Chain is the first feature on your Cryogonal, which is pretty cool. Magma Volcano, Aqua Storm, Moonlight Shuriken. You know, new attacks, I quite like them. You know, old attacks like Torrential Cannon, I mean, sometimes Pokemon gets lazy and just reprint attacks. They reprint the same attacks on new cards because they are super lazy. Like, for example, your the new Gardevoir from Incandescent Arcana. The Gardevoir and the Kirlia has the same ability. The ability has the same name, kind of the same as Shady Dealings, isn't it? They're so lazy that they couldn't come up with a new name. Shady Dealings for Drizzile, Shady Dealings for Inteleon, the same fucking name. I mean, come on. Are you really that lazy? Are you out of ideas or something? Come up with something. Give us something. Anything. We're not asking for much, we're just asking for something. So unfortunately we can't attack this turn. Oh, we got our Ditto though. I think we did Ghostly Cries. We actually played Ghostly Cries for this game. There we go, we did our Sonia Quick Ball. This is the advantage of this deck. We get to play it right now, but if we don't though, we actually get to play Element Chain for Surf on the next turn, so it's kind of the same thing. But right now we actually get to do a knockout earlier, winning the game this turn already with our Ghostly Cries, playing Sonia to draw the Spiritomb out, and then Quick Ball to discard it from our hand, instead of Aqua Storm, Magma Volcano to randomly discard them from the top deck. We actually discarded them by searching it out and with a Quick Ball. So that's pretty interesting. So I think I'm just gonna end the voiceover right here and leave you guys to focus on the game. Today we are featuring the new Ditto from Pokemon Go, using sudden transformation to copy either our Groudon's Magma Volcano attack or Kyogre's Aqua Storm, or even our Ghostly Cry Spiritomb and also Swarm the Wound Basculin to collect the knockout against those injured Pokemon. So if they have, for example, 24 damage counters after doing Magma Volcano, we can do up to 400 damage obviously, but sometimes it's only possible to discard up to 3 cards from the top 5 cards of a deck with your Magma Volcano. That means you're only doing 240 against a V-Star or even a V-Max. That's not enough to kill for 3 prize or even 2 prize if they play V-Stars. So that means Basculin is going to work really well with your Ditto to help you collect the knockout with only 2 energies to do Swarm the Wound, killing them even if they heal their Pokemon, because all we need is 15 damage counters on their VMAX or even V-Star to kill it with a second strike. So Swarm the Wound is actually going to help us a lot, especially if we discard it with our Aqua Storm or Magma Volcano. That's going to help us do with Ditto, attack with Ditto every single turn with only 2 energies. We can also use Element Chain using our Cryogonal or even Ditto to copy that attack. We can also use Ghostly Cries at the last minute, placing damage counter on our opponent's Pokemon in any way we like up to the number of Pokemons in their discard pile. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy life.